Hey traders, in this video I'm going to be breaking down the top ICT indicators that you can use to start improving your trading. What's up guys, my name is Andre Sampson. I'm a full-time day trader. I've been day trading for the past 5 years, and for the last 2 years I've been living solely off the profits of my day trading income. And I trade mainly exclusively the NASDAQ NQ futures. And while I would recommend not using indicators or not using too many indicators, there are a few indicators that I use that some of you guys have asked me about what indicators I'm using. So I'm going to break down the indicators that I use on a daily basis, and hopefully this can help you guys. Now, I don't use any EMAs. I don't use any VWAP. I used to use VWAP in the past. I don't use VWAP. And I like to keep my charts as clean as possible. And so the main things that I am looking for is I like to have an indicator, and my favorite indicator is this sessions liquidity tracker. And I'll put a link in the description for all of the indicators that I'm using. But this sessions liquidity tracker is by Asim Julian, and it's probably my favorite indicator. And it's the one that I wouldn't say I rely on it the most, but it's probably my most helpful indicator to me. And what it does is that it essentially just paints, or it'll mark different levels that you determine, right? So for me, I like to know where previous day high is and previous day low is. And so for me, every single day when I get up on the charts, it'll have already marked the previous day high and previous day low from the previous day. Now I could also mark like the previous week high, previous week low, things like that. Another thing that I haven't marked is, so I have it marking previous day high and previous day low, but I also mark, so you guys know primarily my main strategy is the Judah swing. And I tell you guys to mark the high and low between midnight to 8:30, right? So this is 8:30, this is midnight. Let me zoom in here a little bit. I tell you guys to mark this out. And so I don't do this by hand. I recommend that you do it by hand when you're first getting used to this, right? So you just understand the chart, understand what you're marking and what you're looking at, and not blindly relying on an indicator. But I found that, once you know what you're doing, once you know what your setup is, and you just want a frame of reference every day to come into the charts, it's been very helpful for me. So it marks out midnight, and then it'll mark out the high and low between whatever time frame I set it to, right? So I like midnight to 8:30, and then I also have a setting where if it crosses this one of the sides, you can make it set an alert, or I like to I change the border color of the side that got swept. So just going into the settings right here, basically you can input any time zone, like let's say you want to trade Asia session between 2 and 4 or 3 to 4 a.m., whatever, or New York session, you want to see with a high and low between New York session, right? Yes, you could just go onto the hourly and mark out the high of the lunch candle and the low of the lunch candle. But and actually, that's easy. But this is just a way to always have this data in front of me. And so basically, just like every morning when I come onto the charts, I have like everything mapped out. Previous day high, previous day low. What am I trying to say? Pre-market high, pre-market low, things like that. I also will mark out, like you can show the sessions, you can show it's the rated levels, right? That's why I changed it to dashed, right? You can change it to dashed, but obviously you can change the colors, things like that. You can do weekly dividers, daily dividers. You can have FEG alerts, right? So if you're waiting for a market structure shift, you can send alert to, if you get an FEG after a market structure shift, that'll come to your phone or come to your Tradingview. And previous day high, previous day low, previous week high, previous month high, previous month low. I don't use that, but you can use that. And you can change all the colors. You can change the border. You can change the text. It's my go-to indicator, and for a long time, actually, this is really the only indicator that I use. I do have a bonus indicator for you guys. So if you watch the video to the end, I'll give you a little bit of a secret sauce. But you can see also another thing is I like is it'll mark out the 8:30 or 9:30 or midnight candle. So right, so I know right here, I didn't mark this out, right, but I know that this is 9:30. This is where we open. So I like to have the where the market opens as well. You could also, if you wanted to, I don't really have a I don't use it, but you can also use like midnight. So just have an M, right? Because I like to keep my charts as clean as possible. But if I turn that on, I can see this is midnight, right? So at midnight, this is where it was the opening price for this daily candle. Another thing I really like about this indicator is like currently we're on this day, we're on Friday. But let's say I want to back test what happened like 2-3 days ago. Instead of having to manually mark out the highs or lows, I can just come here and let's replay back to this day, back to the previous Friday. So as soon as I replay this, the indicator will mark out this previous Friday or last week's previous day high, previous day low. You can see it'll mark out 9:30 opening, and it'll mark out midnight, right? So I just think it's a really, really nice indicator to just give you a frame of reference. So as soon as you sit down on the chart, you know where your key levels are for this particular trading day. So this is my most used indicator. This is if I could only have one indicator, this is what I would do. Now, of course, you can do all this stuff manually, right? It's why I like this indicator is that it's not a lagging indicator, right? I'm not relying on this indicator, right? It's not like we're hitting VWAP, so I'm going to enter, or the EMA's crossed, so that means something. No, it's just telling me where levels are on the chart, and then based on my strategy, I can use that as confluence, right? So on this particular day, right, if I was trading London session or prior, I could see that, oh, look, we swept previous day high, right? Here's our previous day high. We swept it. We displaced under the level, entering on that fair value gap. And if I was trading during this time zone, it's not my kill zone, right? You could have taken that short. So that's what I really love it. And there's lots more customizations you can do with this. So if you guys are looking for an indicator that plots all your levels, I would highly, highly recommend this Sessions liquidity tracker. No, the last indicator that I don't really use it so much anymore, but I recommend it to people that are having trouble. If you're having trouble understanding breaks of structures, market structure shifts, one, I would just say I would practice that, be able to understand it visually, right? Keep on practicing it. But if you're really struggling or if you're really new, right, something that I really like or what I used when I was first starting was this other indicator called break of structure, change of character, and that's by Nephew Sam. Let me just open it up here so you guys can see what it looks like. Market structure, break of structure, change of character, market structure break, FEG, OB, breaker block, Nephew Sam. And I exclusively use this. This indicator has a lot of customizations as well, but you can paint FEGs, things like that. The only thing I really use it for is just to mark out change of characters, right? Because with the Judah swing, you're looking for a sweep of some high or low, and then a close under that. If you have difficulty seeing that close or pinpointing exactly where market structure shift is, this indicator is really, it's a great tool to see like here, all right, we swept the lows and we didn't put in a 5-minute market structure shift until right here, right? So this purple horizontal bar represents a change of character, right? And so I wouldn't say blindly rely on this, but if you're really struggling to determine where a market structure shift is, breaker structure is, this could be a helpful indicator for you. But really, these days, the only indicator that I really use is just the session liquidity tracker, just to paint my levels, just so I know when I come onto the charts, okay, cool, there's midnight, there's 9:30, there's previous day high, previous market high and low. And it just makes it really simple, and it keeps my charts really, really clean. I like this really clean, minimalistic look to it, and I like to just be able to cut out all the noise, keep everything as simple as possible, so that I can just wait for my edge, and then once I see my edge play out, I can execute on my setup and ideally, win. So those are my primary indicators. So if you guys are looking for good indicators to help you understand ICT kill zones and levels and things like that, this is what I would recommend. And lastly, if you guys found this video helpful, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and join the Discord if you're looking to join a community of other like-minded traders and connect. Okay, hope you found this helpful. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.